You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing the top 3 skills to master your time and energy. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. I am so excited to be here. We are at episode 300. That is a lot of talking and a lot of listening on your part. And I want to say thank you. And hopefully, not only listening, but implementing in ways that help you in your life. It's so fun to look back at how this started. I was literally in Mark's closet when the podcast launched. And for those of you that have been here since then, again, thank you. You might recall that it started as the Drink Less podcast, where I wanted to really help women who just wanted to cut back on a bit of wine. But as I coached more folks and did more of the work for myself, I realized the core of it was more this lack of feeling in control of your life, like of your time, of your calendar, and just feeling like you wanted to escape, right? There's so much stress and overwhelm, and wine is an excellent way to escape, is what the thought process typically is. And so, what I wanted to do was really make that shift and talk more about the tools that help the core issue, which, as you know, I always say we take the meta skills that we learn in one area of life and then we can apply them throughout all areas of our life. So I know that the, desire to either drink less or maybe it's to eat less, any of those things that you are using as an escape to feel better, they can all be helped as you do the core work. And so here we are now. We have a dedicated office space to record and listen, full transparency. Sometimes, depending on the schedule, that space might also be in my car. I just recently also started incorporating using ChatGPT for some extra research opportunities, and Mark does the editing of the podcast. So it's fun to look back, and then it's also more fun to imagine what the future holds. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love that you are here. I love that you're hearing from me. And please don't forget to share episodes that you enjoy because it can help others. And heck, if you like it, hop on over to Apple and give us a 5-star review so that we can add awareness over there. And if you don't think it's a 5, well, then you can just hold off on that ask. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into today's topic because today I want to talk to you about the top 3 skills for mastering time and energy. I thought it would be a perfect opportunity for us to kind of get grounded, figure out how we want to end this last 3 months, or shall I say these last 3 months of 2024. And I want to look at 3 integral areas. Number 1, time management processes. Number 2, energy renewal. And number 3, mindset shifts. Now, let's get started with time management processes. To begin any process, you need to have an idea of what your priorities are. And hear me when I say your priorities. If you don't know them, others will give you theirs, right? And that is what happens when we end up feeling stressed and overwhelmed and where we get in trouble. Because when we are not crystal clear on what it is that you want, your priorities, and own them, everything seems to feel urgent and important. And when everything is urgent and important, guess what? Nothing really is urgent or important because you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, feeling the stress and overwhelm. So what I like to do is get my list of things that I need to get done for a day. Write it all out. When we're looking at processes, number 1, you need to know your priorities. Number 2, get your list all together, write it out, and then take a look. Number 1, are these activities in alignment with your priorities? Like, are there areas that you can either delegate or delete to begin with? Also, take a look. Are there 1 or 2 things that if you were to complete them, it would knock out some of the other things? There was a really good book. I think it was called The One Thing, and it really discussed the process by which we can do this and make our lives so much more efficient, almost like a domino effect, right? If you take care of one activity, does it help to take care of a couple more activities? Now, Here's the thing that is a little different than maybe you tend to do things now, a different way. I want you to take that list and put the items on the calendar. Put them on for a specific time and for a specific amount of time. And if you're not sure how long it will take, just take a guess to begin with, right? When you give your brain a set amount of time to complete something, you are way more efficient. Now, here is an area that I have adjusted some on my take around the thinking that I believe to be true using this type of tool. So early on, I was very strict at saying, like, stick to your calendar, honor words to yourself, have your own back. But again, as we evolve, we learn. And who is it? Maya Angelou, who says, as you know better, you do better. I'm not sure if that's who it was, but you get the idea, right? Things come up unexpectedly. That's not a problem. And it doesn't mean that you're not having your own back. What I have now incorporated is buffer time. So I build that in knowing that I might have to pivot. But be careful. Don't be pivoting because you don't feel like doing something. Be intentional. You want to be able to pivot with purpose. And that is something that we can intentionally do, and it can make all the difference. Now, here is where I see some challenges for folks. And listen, this is even me, including myself sometimes, right? Is when we don't want to say no to others. So these things that come up, be crystal clear again. Do you need to take care of them because they are on your priority list, or are you taking care of them because you are more looking to people please? We feel very uncomfortable sometimes saying no to something, but I want you to consider when you say no to something else, it opens up an opportunity for yes. And those other things, those other opportunities are for more of the things that you want to do. When you do more of what you enjoy, not trying to go around people pleasing and spreading yourself too thin, that is when you feel more energized, which leads us to the second step or the second skill, energy renewal. And I mentioned this last week. We are not feeling stressed and burned out and overwhelmed because we're doing too many of the things that we love. We are feeling that way because we have not prioritized and or paid attention to the things that do light us up. When you recognize that, and not only recognize, when you can celebrate even the small wins, that is when you feel more energized. So when you're doing more of what you want, when you're celebrating the small wins, that's when you build momentum, and that's when you're feeling motivated. And momentum, my friend, is energy. That is energy renewal. And I also think when we're talking about energy that it's important to regulate your nervous system. And for me, my go-to areas are daily meditation, breath work pretty much on the daily, and some sort of physical workout daily. Listen, this is a crazy brain here, and when I don't do those things, it gets even crazier. So I truly do believe it's for everyone's best sake that I can get these things done. Now, does that mean I miss out on some events? Maybe. Perhaps. Does it mean that I might go to bed early? Yes, indeed. And does it mean that I might get some ribbing for my sleeping habits? You better believe it. But what I know is right now, it works for me. And that's where I want you to have your own back. That's where I want you to be solid in knowing you are doing what works for you, not what you think everybody else thinks that you should be doing. That is the key. Find the things that work for you. Be willing to get curious. My morning routine has changed so much over the years. I remember I used to get up, I would get my coffee, I would watch Regis and Kelly back in the day. And now I really can't stand most TV shows, to be honest. And in the morning is when I do my meditation, the breath work, the workout, and it's early. But it took some time to evolve. And it might be that you have to make a number of small changes over time to bring you to the new result. And the new results come from, you guessed it, skill number 3, mindset shifts. And before I hop into mindset shifts, I just want to really make sure that you're hearing that the small changes over time are what will give you lasting results. The Compound Effect, another great book, by the way. Okay, let's hop into mindset shifts. Number 1 You need to be willing to be wrong about your current beliefs in order to start incorporating new ones. And I talk about the discomfort of growth. This is exactly that. Our brain doesn't like to be wrong about things. In fact, a lot of times we will fight to keep our limiting beliefs. But if you want to evolve in your life, you need to start evolve in your thinking. Be willing to get curious in a compassionate way with how your current thinking has brought you to your current state. And then get curious about what you want to accomplish, what you might have to unlearn, and then what you need to decide on purpose to believe in order to achieve the new results. And it all goes back to the think, feel, do cycle. And I would say a key to this step is to stop the negative, judgy self talk. We can be so vicious to ourselves sometimes. So, what I want is for you to drop that layer. And when you drop the layer of judgment, when you drop the chatter of telling yourself that you shouldn't do that or you should do that, and you're just really getting clear on the idea of what is important to me right now, and that will allow you to have the shift in your mindset. And doing that will allow you to feel more energized and more efficient in your time processes. Knowing this allows you to feel more empowered in your life. And that is ultimately what I wish for more of you. That is why we come here every week to learn the skills that are available to us. And here's the thing, you might not even realize right now that they are available to you. And this is the idea of like quantum physics, right? And I'm not going to get too much into it, but just kind of a general idea that things are out there, they're already in creation, and we don't actually recognize it until it's brought into our consciousness that they are available to us. So when you can see that certain skills, accomplishments, goals are possible with other people, know that they're also possible for yourself. And listen, I just launched the It's Your Time Empowerment Hub for founding members. And if you're on my email list, you have been receiving the information. It is going to be exactly what I'm talking about here, right? It's a place where we're going to be discussing tools and concepts around time management, around menopause transition, around nervous system regulation. Like it is going to incorporate all of the different skills that will help you feel more energized and less stressed and overwhelmed. It's going to consist of monthly modules online that you will just do at your pace, and then also an opportunity for networking, coaching, accountability. But it is first being launched to people on my email list. So if you're not over there, head on over michelleburkecoaching.com/wait and you will get the information. Now, listen, it is only going to be open for founding members until October 12th. And again, you're on the email list. You will be getting the information October 12th. It will be closing down as a founding member opportunity. And then I will be doing a full release to the public. So get on now. It's a great way to be part of it as it grows. And I'm going to have added bonus opportunities as it evolves because it is something new for me too, right? Like I talk to you all about being willing to put things out there, be willing to fail, be willing to learn, and be willing to move on. And that is going to be this. It is definitely going to be an intentional space where you are able to feel better in your day-to-day life and be able to incorporate a better work-life integration. So michelleburkecoaching.com/wait, hop on over there. Otherwise, friends, again, thank you so much. Number 300, what is yet to come? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out next week. I'll meet you back here then. For now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburkecoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.